Well, let's talk about the football game with Steve Sarkisian on the sideline leading the troops into battle in the Iron Bowl. This is unlike any other spectacle in college football played in Tuscaloosa this year. A 3-4 record does not necessarily impress anyone unless you really understand the landscape of Auburn, Alabama, and that nobody has had that kind of record of success against Nick Saban since he's been in Tuscaloosa, but Auburn winning 3 of the last 7 since Gus Malzahn's been on the Plains. Your thoughts about the recent games?
The recent games, they have all been wild, Mark. All of the recent games have been wild here in this rivalry. I mean, especially going back to the 2017 matchup always kind of catches my attention because of the fact that Jalen Hurts kind of put up strong numbers statistically, but the idea was, is he limiting Alabama's offense? Is he hampering Alabama's passing game? If a Tide not able to have that balance to stretch the field vertically as it would like to, if it in that game against the Tigers, Kerryon Johnson, went off 30 carries for 104 yards, 1 touchdown, and then of course Jarrett Stidham had 12 carries for 51 yards and a score to his credit. The Auburn defense put the clamps on Alabama. Jalen Hurts could not do anything out there on the field, and Auburn gets the 26-14 win. And of course, it went on to play for the SEC championship. Now, of course, Georgia won that game, but Auburn was involved in that match. It's been some wacky games in the last recent years, but that 2017 matchup always pokes out to me as the one where Alabama offensively could not establish any type of creativity, and Auburn was just handing the ball off to Kerryon Johnson and took full control pace of that game.
So let's look at this year's matchup. Auburn with 2 losses, could have lost a third game against Arkansas, seemed to be playing better football, though, as of late. Bo Nix playing more consistent football than he certainly did last year. Your thoughts about the matchup? What could cause some concern for Alabama?
Well, 2 things. Number one, if you look at the backs that Auburn brings into this game, Tank Bigsby, the true freshman, DJ Williams, and Shaun Shivers. And even if Bigsby is not able to play in this game, he did sustain a lower body injury against Tennessee on last week and did not return to action. Gus Malzahn and company have been monitoring him all this week in practice. So even if the time of the true freshman does not play, DJ Williams brings a lot of power to the table. Shaun Shivers, a lot of speed, some shiftiness, the ability to bounce off tackles, kind of be that pinball type of player. And this is a big game for Alabama's defensive line. We know what Auburn typically likes to do. They like to go motion, a lot of movement, a lot of eye candy, looks there prior to the snap of the football. Alabama can follow the flow of the ball, get penetration into the backfield, stuff this run game, or put the clamps on these Auburn running backs. The defensive line, the eye discipline, gap discipline, that's going to be important. But also mark the linebacker play, the inside linebacker play of Christian Harris and Dylan Moses, first and foremost, where these two have got to fly in the gaps. They got to dissect the ball. They got to make plays in the backfield. But most importantly, keep Bo Nix from breaking contain of the pocket. When he gets outside the pocket, that's where his Johnny Manziel type of feel comes to play. He can break outside the pocket. He can run. He is highly athletic. When he breaks outside the pocket, you start to see receivers work their way back to him and trying to catch the football. So this is a big moment for Christian Harris, Dylan Moses, Christopher Allen, and Will Anderson, your outside and inside linebackers for Alabama, not just to fly into the backfield and make plays, but contain that edge when Bo Nix has the football and not allow him to freelance outside the pocket there.
Have you seen any difference in this offense since Jalen Waddle went down?
There's a slight difference. You don't have, outside Devontae Smith, Alabama's looking to find that second receiver that can vertically stretch the field and take the top off an opposing defense. And, of course, right now, Alabama's been working with John Mechie. He's had some good games this season. Of course, last week against Kentucky, not his best matchup. We know what Slade Bolden can provide, but he's more of a possession receiver, a guy that can run the slant route, the drag route, kind of that in-between type guy. So after Devontae Smith, Alabama's kind of trying to push and look for who's the second guy that can vertically stretch this field and put some pressure on defenses. Now, Javon Baker, the true freshman out of Powder Springs, Georgia, by the way, from McEachern High School, he's got that type of ability, and Alabama has been getting him on the field as of late, but has not, thrown the ball in his direction. Could this be a situation where he can get more on the field? I'll be looking to see, that in this matchup against Auburn. But as of right now, with the loss of Jamin Waddle, the thing with Alabama is trying to find that number 2 guy opposite Devontae Smith that can really do some damage here to opposing defenses.
It is, of course, odd to think that Alabama and Auburn will be playing other games after, hopefully, if everybody stays healthy. They will be playing other games after the Iron Bowl. Of course, this is a traditional matchup to conclude the season, the regular season for these teams. We know the obvious football talent on the field is brought to the field by these two programs and all the NFL players that are going to be running around as they do each and every year. Give the folks out there, because I had a taste of it for 6 to 7 years in SEC country, covering this game and covering the SEC as a whole. And I like to tell people this story just to give them some kind of inkling into the rivalry. I was driving back from Ohio to my home in Mississippi at the time, and this was in the middle of the summer. This is like in June, when most people aren't thinking any thought of college football. I pick up a radio station while I'm in like Kentucky or Tennessee, and they are talking for hours about Alabama and Auburn in the middle of June. So, Stephen, if you can give some of the folks that have never been around the rivalry, we only see it on television, just some perspective on how big it is.
I'll say this right now, Mark, the rivalry has even hit my own household. On this past Sunday, I was visiting my parents in Marion, Alabama, Perry County, which is an hour south of Tuscaloosa, and my mom made this great Sunday dinner, and I'm eating my dinner. I definitely enjoyed that, and I'm trying to, have some quality time with my father, who's sitting on the couch, and I go to shake his hand, and my father then proceeds to look at me and go, "Stephen, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm trying to shake your hand." He said, "Stephen, we are enemies this week. No, don't try that with me this week. We are enemies. I'm an Auburn fan. You cover Alabama. You know what this is. I don't have time to shake your hand. Don't speak to me this week. Don't look in my direction this week. We are enemies this week." So in my own household, could not shake my father's hand there, as he viciously reminded me of the importance of this week.
Okay, that depicts it right there. Enough said. Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama. I encourage everybody to hop on over to touchdownalabama.com. Stephen, let the folks know where they can find you here on YouTube. Stephen's got an outstanding call-in show a few times a week.
Absolutely. They can find me on YouTube. That's Touchdown Alabama Magazine on YouTube. That is Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And the show is entitled In My Own Words. It's In My Own Words, Stephen M. Smith. We do the call-in show 3 days a week. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The show starts at 6 p.m. Central Time. Encourage all callers to come in and just discuss all angles of Tide football.
All right, Stephen, thank you so much. Have a happy, joyous Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.